good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Stardust Show, powered by Radio Works World. I have the privilege to introduce you today somebody who is very dear to a lot of people, and hopefully by the end of the show, you are going to fall in love madly with the one and only Yael Rose. So over to
Thank-
you.
Love the introduction. Thank you for that. Welcome everybody, and thank you, Marina, for having me. It's a great pleasure.
I want to celebrate you for being nominated as a person of significance for the Stardust Awards, which is going to be held in London on the 19 of November. And we are going to have a lot of people from all over the world who are sharing their own purpose, who are sharing their Stardust story and inspire other people to be more, to be better, to feel better about themselves. And now you are recognized by so many people who are voting for you every single day. So tell us, what brought you where you are right now?
Oh my God. Miserable mistakes, and, a crazy attitude of jumping into the water and learning to swim afterwards. Fearless, stupid courage is what brought me here, really. Does that answer the question?
So, what are the top three mistakes that become a challenge at a time and you turn them into a big opportunity?
It's difficult because it's difficult to look at things as mistakes when you overcome and then learn from them. And so I don't even know. Sorry, I'm going to be a bit philosophical today. And as I said to you, Marina, I'm feeling a little bit naughty, which is a bit dangerous when you live. By the way, are we allowed to swear? Just so I know.
Of course.
Be free. Okay. So I try not to, because I'm on my best behavior. But oh gosh, I don't know. I mean, I took risks that maybe I shouldn't have taken, but it was all leading me in the path to where I am today. So I think the biggest mistake really for me was, and it wasn't, I can't say, sorry, let me shut my phone off. I can't say it was a mistake because you don't know what you don't know, right? So if I knew that the most precious thing I have is myself and my quiet time with myself and God, and that's how I will get inspired, and that's how I will walk a path that is easier, or at least divinely guided and led, and and it will be easier for me. It will make things easier if I just stopped the race and looked within and asked myself, what am I meant for? That's when things started to go right for me, as far as I'm aware, when I started asking, how can I serve greatly? What am I meant for? What am I supposed to be doing? And, I got there by being really kind of, slapped on my face. And that's how it felt like anyway, like a slap in the face. No, not there. That's not where you're meant to be. And then I keep going, no, another slap on the face, not there, that's not where you're meant to be. So that's what I'm saying. I found the way, this path in a very painful way, but sometimes it's like that. It's really sad. I was actually thinking about it today. It's almost sad that us humans, we really need to suffer before we wake up. I don't know why that is. So my main aim is in life at the moment and in business is to learn the lesson while it's not so painful. Not to have to go to the depths of sorrow to actually wake up and think, oh, right, okay, that's what I'm meant to be doing, right? So, and that comes from tuning in and asking the right questions and being in quiet sometimes, and not always just going from one point to the next.
So if I take your own inspiration, and I'm philosophical about, so you are not the only one who went through that path, and you are not the only one who had to learn from those challenges and turn them into opportunities. But more than often, we believe, I used to personally, I'm going to talk on my behalf only, so perhaps it's a lot easier. So I always believe that if I'm doing my best, if I please everyone, if I make sure everybody's happy, that will make me happy. And for that to happen, I was chasing outside goals. I was going after the next big thing. And it was always a very tough race because we are women, and we are not considered to be the best people to be in business in certain circles. So it always been as if I was running a competition by myself and getting there second. Not necessarily because I didn't reach those goals. I did, and I exceeded them, but simply because how I felt. How I felt each time I achieved the next big goal, the next big house, the next big whatever it was. So I had to retire first and have a time away from everything to understand that actually I am very abundant. I have it all. Everything that I am already. And I only need to master my abundance. I only need to master my purpose. I only need to work harder on myself, because whatever it is that we are conditioned to call happiness is not outside. It's an inside job. And I don't know what is your relationship with happiness, but I feel that you are a very vibrant young woman, and all your experiences in the past were only one side of this karmic coin called life. Because the past is there to help you understand, and you quite rightly said sooner than later, that everything that happens to you happens for you. And then the second aspect of your life, the other side of your karmic coin, is your vision. And as you can see, we have now two facets of the same coin. The past that make you wiser, stronger, the way you are right now. And the other one is your vision. But your vision is only in your mind. So in order to become a coin, a karmic coin, in order to become your own sovereign, most of the time you have to work on your vision. You have to create that reality first for other people to see it. So what is your vision?
What is my vision? Wow, such heavy, big questions, Marina. I wasn't prepared, you know. I thought it was just a friendly chat. Seriously.
You wanted to be philosophical. Let's go all in.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I did this to myself. Right. What is my vision for what?
What is your vision about your life? Because, you know, people ask many times, what is my purpose? And they go on a journey trying to find themselves, to reinvent themselves, when actually in reality, you already have it all. In reality, you only need to deliver yourself. You don't really need to create or invent anything. You are there. You just need to be focused on who you are and make sure you deliver your best version of yourself. This is my own understanding. So what is your vision? What is that you see in your own life purpose?
My purpose is really to inspire and encourage and empower as many people as possible. And I want to say women, but I don't only deliver that service to women. You know, there's a lot of men, and we, you know, as we know, like Ingrid said in EBW 2020, that we really cherish the men in our lives and couldn't do it without them. So when I was a little girl,
I believe that having that point of view helps a lot of our listeners and viewers right now to understand that a powerful woman like yourself is not there for herself, is there to help other people create and deliver value. And of course, the female energy and the male energy is needed for the magic to happen. So tell us more.
Yes, I'm not just for myself saying that. I won't lie to you. I tried to run away from my mission and it didn't work out. So you asked me about happiness, part of it, as I realized it, I just have to walk the path. But, you know, if I look back to my childhood, I used to lock myself in the bathroom and pretend that I'm presenting like almost like a television show and there's big crowds and I'm teaching them things like origami or whatever, right? So you know, when I sit down in my rocking chair and write my autobiography, it will start with this very scene where, you know, there was only one bathroom in the house and my mom's knocking on the door, and this is literally the first scene in my book, which is like, Yael, get out, your brother needs to go to the toilet. And I'm just sitting there, 7-year-old, you know, imagining I'm wearing this most beautiful clothes and all made up and I'm speaking to all these people. And then I grew up, and at some point in my life, just before I started my events business in this country, in London, London's not a country, in the UK, I used to go up and down the...
You're right. It is like a country of greatness. So yes, I agree.
Like the world, London is a country, totally. But I used to go up and down the school run and looking at all these miserable people, which I perceived to be miserable. They might have been very happy, but that was my perception of them, and thinking, wow, I really want to inspire them. They can be so much more. You don't have to just be a mom or be this or be that. And then I started my business and worked really, really hard to build a business while raising kids. You know, at some point I had 4 children under the age of 5. And I always tell the story that I would have one of them, you know, right here in the kitchen on a high chair. And that time we didn't have mobile phones for work. So I had my one computer that was in the office, and I would put a spoon of food in the child's mouth, run to the office, finish off an email, send it off, or I would literally close deals on the phone with people while I'm changing dirty nappies, right? So that, and then I went into doing my events business and, you know, had amazing successes with that. And I kind of like went off my path, really. But I didn't really know, but what started to happen is that I was really unhappy and I was very unfulfilled. And I remember a coach asking me, you know, why do you do what you do? And all I could think of is money. Isn't that what you work for money, right? I couldn't see beyond it. I couldn't. And then I saw a Brandon Bouchard video, and I remember he was talking about surveys. So I was like, what is he talking about? What does he mean? So that's when I started asking myself, how can I serve greatly? It's a beautiful question. Anybody that's lost and want to make an impact in the world, just start with that, because you know, when you're asking the right questions and you keep asking them and you're demanding God, the universe, to give you the answers will present themselves through people, circumstances, opportunities, right? So when I started asking, how can I serve greatly? That's how I got into coaching, and now, you know, slowly public speaking, doing things like that, and literally just sharing my inspired thoughts without knowing if anybody will appreciate it, what, you know, people will think about it, just being me. As soon as inspiration comes, you know, people think I spend all day long on social media. It takes me literally 30 seconds to write a post because it's pure inspiration. I write it down, boom, it's out. So my vision is really now to stay on my path, stay in my lane, do my work, not get distracted with, you know, bright shiny objects, because really in my essence, I know what I'm meant to do. And it's just keep on just being myself and let my light shine and bless other people with it. And I'm blessing myself, you know, it's a double blessing. So I'm not just this amazing, you know, Mother Teresa doing it for the whole world. Don't get me wrong. I'm, you know, this stuff fulfills me. So that's what makes me happy. And the other thing about happiness that I've learned, I had a conversation with a monk, someone who's called the monk. And he really changed my perception on freedom, what we perceive to be freedom. For example, we think, let me go to the beach, I don't want to work, or I want to work from the beach, that's freedom. But really, it's an illusion, because you can find freedom in any moment in your life, just like you can meditate in any moment in your life. And the same with happiness. I don't really think, Marina, that happiness is what you see in billboards, right? It doesn't always feel, when you see celebrities and they catch them that moment when they're smiling or laughing or faking a smile or a laugh, and we've been taught that that's happiness. But sometimes happiness is so, just a peaceful moment, or having a beautiful conversation with a beautiful person that you feel changed just from having the conversation. That's the sort of thing that makes me happy. For example, one of the things. A bit of a long answer for you there.
I know that you believe in yourself. What would be the top 2 tips you could share with our audience today to stay authentic no matter what?
I think the most important thing is to know yourself. Know yourself better and better every day. And people always say, but how do I know myself? But you do, you just keep running away from it maybe, but you do, if you just sit still for a second and be real. So, saying what you really mean, for example, it sounds so simple, doesn't it? But how many times in the day do we really do it? Sometimes I feel half of the job that we do as parents is educate our children how to be fake, how to be polite, how to, don't say that, don't say this, because people will think you're rude. But what are we teaching them really? We're teaching them not to voice their real opinions, their real feelings. So really connecting back with that place, speaking the truth with love. I'm not talking about offending anybody, that's not the business that we are in, is it? But sometimes, my mentors, they give me the most hardest truths the last thing in the world that I want to hear, but it's the best. So I think that's first, is knowing yourself. And then the second one, you have to be a little bit fearless about being yourself. Once you found it, then be it and let the world see who you really are. And that's where most people get stuck, because they're really scared. And for different reasons, for different people, the way we were brought up. But as I said, I consider myself quite an aware person, and still I'm teaching my kids certain things. So, the generation that's gone before us, goodness, what they taught us. So you've been taught not to be yourself. So it's a huge unlearning. Like Mark Twain said, don't let your education get in the way of your learning. So you need to sometimes unlearn everything you've learned in your life to come back to yourself, and then have the courage to shine that light. And not everyone's going to love you, right? But you just have to keep going, because normally more people will love you. And at the end of the day, actually, it doesn't really matter who loves you and who doesn't. As long as you are being yourself, that's the best you can do, I think.
That's absolutely where I stand. But what I notice is that many times you focus on everything else and everything in between. Your next exam, your next certificate, your next test, your next friend, your next partner, or somebody else's next. So you leave yourself behind a little bit, and somehow your attention goes not on yourself, into the person who sits inside, but to the person who sits next to you. So I found that very disturbing when I'm thinking back now, on reflection, what on earth I was thinking. So yes, I totally agree with you. Knowing yourself is not something somebody else is going to teach you. It's something that you owe to yourself. It is your moral duty, because unless you know yourself, how is anyone else going to know you? So I know we are approaching the end of our short interview, and there is more. I wish we had more time, but surely we will transcribe this interview for the Sovereign, for our global magazine for heart-centered entrepreneurs. So our viewers and listeners will have the chance to read the interview as well.
Awesome.
But before we go, if you had a magic wand, what would you wish for?
A magic wand. I think I'll ask for endless wishes. That's the clever answer, isn't it?
It's a very clever answer.
Can I please have another magic wand that is never ending?
Yeah, why not?
I think too many things, there's too many things. I just want to continue to be able to do my work, to continue to grow, to make bigger impact into people's lives. I want to, expand my children's horizons. I want to take them traveling. I'd like a new house. The list is endless. I'm not one of those people that, 9 out of 10 people don't know what they want. I'm not one of those people. I know exactly what I want. So I have a lot of wishes. So I think, please, Aladdin, can I have endless wishes? Thank you.
So I know that you believe that life is, in many ways, your biggest life, the life you have right now. And I believe that life is what you make of it. What would you make out of your life if money was no object?
It wouldn't be much different than, it would be just more of what I'm doing now. Yeah, I'd probably, people always ask me, are you going to do more events? I'd probably organize events and bring great speakers and let everybody just come for free. I love doing that kind of stuff. Travel more, I'm always happy to travel. Other things that are really on my, sitting on my heart at the moment is helping people, perhaps, even going into schools, giving children a pot of maybe £50 and seeing who comes back with what, helping them, mentoring them, doing business. I have a big heart for, especially for the kids that weren't really great at school because, I'm a school dropout. I dropped at 15. I have a really big heart for people who just don't have opportunities. So possibly, I would like to help more people, but it's important that they want to help themselves first, and then just be that person that gives someone an opportunity. And just really, when I meet cab drivers or even children down the road, my question to them always is, what's your dream? And it just helps people think. So if I could also set up something where I can just help them to move towards that dream, that would be fun. I can do a lot with money, a lot.
So I know you have a huge heart, you have a big vision, and you deliver a lot already. What is exciting and is breaking news and you could share with our audience?
The first thing that comes to mind is I was invited to speak in Birmingham. I was never there before, so there's an event there, 11/11, the 11th of November. Anyone that's living that side, I can't even tell you what side of the country it is because I literally just go in the train. I don't pay attention, I had the most boring geography teacher and I just switched off completely. So somewhere in the UK, there's a place called Birmingham. And if you live anywhere near Birmingham, you can come and meet me and other amazing speakers in person. So that's something I'm really excited about. I also have a Facebook group that it's for women over 40 who are in business. It's called Business Confidence at 40 plus, 40 and the plus sign. We do accept women younger, so just apply. There's a few questions to answer. So that's exciting. It's a really nice, engaged group. And we're going to do a new training there soon, so it's a good time to join us. There's probably other things that I can't think of right now, but that's what I'm excited about today.
Wow, so I'm very, very excited that the only thing I could think about right now is that we are going to meet on the red carpet on the 18th, 19th of November. And I use this opportunity to thank you for being part of the journey and see where the Stardust is taking us. Before I go, I have to say, and this is a message from our Stardust team at Radio Works World, you are Stardust. From both of us, until next time, is goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.